Welcome to the Rock Music Alliance interview sessions. I'm your host, Cole Coleman, along with keyboardist Claudio Pesavento from Mahogany Rush and the Chris Squire Band. On our show today, you know her as the host of the popular Access TV show, The Top 10 Revealed, but she's also been a vice president of programming, a rock journalist, and a radio DJ, and more. So welcome to our show, Katie Daryl.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Totally stoked.
Katie, the She Rocks Awards are right around the corner, and you're to be honored this year at the show. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I am so excited. I'm humbled, and I truly am really honored. I mean, what a treat.
Can you tell us when and where is it all happening?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So the She Rocks Awards are part of the NAMM weekend and festivities. So if you're going to be at NAMM, you definitely want to make sure you come to the She Rocks Awards. They will be taking place on the 25th, Saturday, the 25th, at the Hilton, which is right across the street from NAMM. And from what I understand, the Hilton was getting a major facelift this year. And this is one of the first events that will be held in the newly remodeled ballroom. So like, ooh la la.
Yeah, I've gone to NAMM for many, many years, know the Hilton well. So I'll be looking forward to see what they've done.
Yeah, no, it should be great. And this is a really fun time. I mean, the She Rocks Awards, I mean, I think this will be the third one that I get to go to. I hosted it one year and then have gone and just seen the event and been a part of it. And I mean, there are so many really cool people there and the networking is fantastic. And it's a party. I love a good party.
Absolutely. Now, where can people get tickets?
Oh, I believe you could just go to the SheRocksAwards.com and there's all the ticketing information right there.
Right. Would you know if there's any discounted ticketing for like NAMM, for people going to NAMM?
Yeah, that is a really great question. I don't know that off the top of my head, but listen, there's you can always probably email them and ask if you can get a discount code.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be on the website.
Any senior citizens discount?
Yeah. So, Katie, when and how were you notified that you were to be an honoree this year?
Oh, that is a great question. So I got wind of it. I think I got an email from the gang over there in the beginning of June. So it was right around the beginning of June that I got an email saying that they had selected me as one of the ladies to be honored. And now this truly is an honor because, the She Rocks Awards honors, trailblazing women from all areas of the industry, from, educators to label execs to manufacturers to ladies in the nonprofit, circuit, and then also musicians themselves. I mean, like Belinda Carlisle has been honored before, Lizzie Hale, I believe, Anna and Nancy Wilson. So to be able to be part of, in the same sentence as some of those names is truly an honor. But yeah, I got an email that said that someone had nominated me and that they were going forward with it. And here I am about to get up there on the stage and have to have a speech prepared. Yikes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're certainly a trailblazer, so it's well-deserved for you. Are you being honored for anything specific, or is it like your body of work?
It's the body of work. I think in particular, they are leaning on my journalism and the interviews that I do with musicians and female musicians in particular.
Can you tell us who some of the other honorees are this year?
Oh, goodness. Yeah. You know what? I think I have the website even right here. I should probably pull that up. Let's see. One thing that's really exciting is actually that last year, Lindsey Sterling, the rock and roll violinist, was honored. And this year she's coming back to host the awards and perform. Wow. So that's going to be really cool. So that she's one of the hosts. Some of the honorees include Samantha Fish. She's Grammy nominated world-class guitarist. Christina Perry is being honored this year. Paula Cole, you remember her from her hit song, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? Mixie's going to be there. I believe Amanda Palmer, Asia. She's worked with everyone from Rachel Platten to Selena Gomez, which is really, her resume just shouts awesomeness. Let's see, there's myself. Nurit Siegel-Smith is going to be there. She's the executive director of the Music Forward Foundation. Teresa Hoff from I believe it's Martin Guitars is being honored. I know I've left someone off the list, but it's a really cool gaggle of ladies.
It's interesting. Mixie's on there. Mixie's from Stitched Up Heart, I believe, and she's still pretty new to me, but she's certainly she's a force,
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, and just I believe it was last year that she was at the Crossroads and got to play along with Slash and open up for the Rolling Stones. So when you say the word trailblazer, she's definitely out there. Or no, I'm sorry, that was Samantha Fish that's done all that, not Mixie. Mixie actually just did a big European tour, so pardon that giant flip flop of their two ladies and their names.
Oh, that's all right. Well, I'm definitely a fan of Mixie and Stitched Up Heart. I mean, I really enjoy their music a lot.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the host this year?
Let's see. Lindsay Sterling is going to be one of the hosts, along with Jennifer Batten. Is it Batten or Baton? Jennifer Batten.
Batten.
And listen, she's been playing guitar since she was 8 years old. I mean, truly just an aficionado, and she's a rock icon in her own right.
Yeah, for anybody listening who is not familiar with that, she really came to light as Michael Jackson's guitar player, which kind of set in motion a whole theme, isn't it? It's like he had Michael Jackson had Jennifer Batten. He brought Orianthe into the light.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Claudio, have you been to the She Rocks Awards? I have not actually attended the She Rocks Awards yet.
It's a good time. It's really good.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I was 2 years ago, I think. Or 3. How long has been going on, this thing? 3 years, 4 years?
Oh, goodness. No, I think this is like going on lucky 13. I think this is the 13th year.
Yeah. I think 2 years ago I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Katie, do you know who's going to be performing at the show, or will there be performances?
I know Lindsay Sterling is going to be performing because she didn't last year. And so now as a host this year, she's like, I'm going to go ahead and perform. I don't want to speak out of term, but I have a feeling that Paula Cole is performing. What's great is also there's always a surprise. There's always a surprise. Someone jumps up on the stage, whether it's to play as themselves as an individual or to jam with one of the other performers. So you got to just kind of see it to believe it. Yeah.
Lindsay performed last year at NAMM Show out on the Yamaha stage, which is what I call the superstar stage. It's the great big outdoors stage between Hilton and Marriott. And I really, really enjoyed her performance, so.
I dig her so much. I was familiar with her before the awards last year, and then seeing her speech last year, she was great. She went up there, kind of had a piece of paper and basically tore it up and was like, never mind, I'm speaking from the heart. I really enjoyed just how well-spoken she was, how sincere she was. Her music is kick butt. And then I got to say, I'm a sucker for Christmas tunes, and she has a really good Christmas album.
She does. She did a really great remake of Carol of the Bells.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us what the mission of the She Rocks Awards are or is?
Well, the She Rocks Awards, it's really to champion, applaud, and honor, trailblazing women. And it's also uplifting, it is there to support and point out that there are a lot of women in this industry that have had to claw their way in and have gotten themselves to positions of power. And while doing that, they have supported other women and have worked to mentor others. And so it's really just a celebration of that wonderful spirit.
That's great. And, I have to say, it's come a long way. When I started in the music industry, I'm a guitar player and I started playing for other people. It was definitely a boys club or a man's industry. There were very few female musicians. There was Ann and Nancy Wilson, and there had been a few great singers. But I'm just saying, like, looking back when I started to now, it's come a long way. It's like night and day. And there are so many great female guitarists right now. I mean, this seems to be the age of the female shredder.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at, like you even mentioned, Orianthe, you got Melina Moyes, fantastic. Nita Strauss. I mean, there are just women out there that are showing that this isn't the boys club anymore.
Not anymore. That's for sure. And it's a good thing. You got to embrace that,
Even Plush.
Oh, Plush. Oh
Yeah.
my. Yeah, we just did an interview with Bella Perron, and they're terrific. The band, they're shockingly strong sounding band. Great guitar sounds. It's great.
Great singer.
Oh yeah. Mariah. She's a terrific voice.
She's the one.
Yeah. So we were just talking about how long the She-Rocks Awards have been around. So it's, you think 13 years.
Yeah, I think I remember I was talking to someone and I made the joke about it being lucky 13. So yeah.
So 2012, 2013, somewhere around there when it first started. I first heard of the She-Rocks Awards only around 2017 myself. I remember I was at NAMM show and there was a buzz around saying, I was hearing, are you going to the award show tonight? Are you going to the award show tonight? I'm thinking, an award show? What's going on? So it's just amazing how many years it takes to get the word out.
That's true. But isn't that kind of the way with a lot of small businesses, if you will, right? You got to start out and get the word out. And I think the organization has grown tremendously in the last couple of years. It really has exploded. And they have done such a good job at curating who they honor and get in to be part of the organization each year. And I think that really helps, spread the word. When you have, Lizzie Hale showing up and being a part of it and other rockers, as I mentioned, like Gina Shock from the Go-Go's and, Linda Perry and, all these cool names, people, you name drop those ladies and people are going to take notice.
Yeah. They look very organized. Can you tell me, do they have a parent organization?
So the She-Rocks Awards are part of the Women Network, the WIMN, Women in Music Network. And yeah, so that's kind of like the parent company, if you will.
Interesting. Well, gang, let's pause here for a word from our sponsor. And when we come back, we're going to ask Katie about her early days and being a radio DJ at 15 years old. We'll be right back.
Attention guitar players, the Thimble Slide allows you to slide and fret, freeing your slide finger. The Thimble Slide is a mini guitar slide designed to be worn on the tip of your finger, about halfway down your fingernail. When worn there, you can still bend your finger, and most importantly, it's allowing enough of your fingertip through so you can still press the guitar strings. With its patented shape, you can slide and fret while wearing the Thimble Slide. Visit thimbleslide.com. That's thimbleslide.com.
Hey, this is Bella Prawn from the band Plush, and you're listening to Rock Music Alliance.
We're back on the Rock Music Alliance talking with Katie Daryl. Katie, take us back to your beginnings briefly, and then give us a little trip through your career. I'll start you off. Where were you born and raised? And what led you to being a radio DJ at 15?
Well, I was born in Ohio, but I don't really, that's not my spirit animal when it comes to the state. Arizona is my home. That's where I was raised. I love Arizona. I love a dry heat. I love the desert. It's so funny. So many people will look out and be like, oh, it's so brown. And I'm like, don't you see all the colors? I mean, it is just a gorgeous state. I love Arizona. I grew up and went to Arizona State University. So I'm a Sun Devil. And I chose Arizona State because it has the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting. And, that's what I wanted to study. And I had decided that because I had stumbled into the world of radio, as you said, at the age of 15. I was one of those kids that I loved to perform, right? Put me in the school play, do that sort of thing. Loved it. But never really wanted to be like an actress. I was never someone that's like, I'm going to go to Hollywood. But I knew I liked using my voice, if you will. And there was a radio station in Phoenix that was starting out, and it was a kids radio station. It was even before Radio Disney existed. And they were looking for part-time radio DJs that were kids that would come in after school and work with an adult to learn and understand the board and how to be a DJ and host a 2 to 3 hour radio program each week. And I ended up getting the job. You had to audition for it. And so I auditioned for it. It was like at the local mall or something like that back in the day when things happened at the mall near the food court. And I started becoming a radio DJ. And so I did that for about 2 years. And I had a great mentor who, truly, taught me how to do the board, how to record things, how to cut reel to reel back in the day, because it wasn't digital, it was tape. And that's where I then decided that I wanted to pursue broadcasting, and then went on to go to Arizona State University.
Yeah, that's great. I just wanted to ask, back then, were they still using the cart machine for commercials?
Oh, yes, they were. Those good old, looks like an 8-track.
That's funny. So the family you were born into, was there any musicians, or like oftentimes I've noticed in the music industry, I mean, a lot of us start out as musicians, and sometimes
no, not at all. That's so funny. I have no musical talent. I will do some karaoke. I love the karaoke, but no, not a musical family at all. I don't know. I just liked music, and my parents, would, play like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Simon and Garfunkel. So I was exposed to music. But no, there wasn't someone strumming in the background. Now, my husband, on the other hand, and obviously this didn't come into play until many years later, he's basically from the Von Trapp family, if you will. There was 7 kids, a dad with a guitar, they're harmonizing. And so I remember the first time I went to a family gathering and they pulled out a guitar and they're all singing. I was like, what is happening with this family? Because that was not my family growing up at all.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, So your interest really was to get into radio or broadcasting.
Yeah.
But you just have a natural gravitation towards the music industry.
Hey, I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I did. I mean, I think, at first, at one point, I thought about doing, going more into a more serious journalism route, news, if you will. But I think had the understanding that comes with a lot of drama, things like the fires and, they're, why so serious? I thought, what's another angle? How could I have fun every day and not, feel like it's brain surgery or rocket science? And rock and roll, it's a good time. And, to be a young gal and getting to have the opportunity to go backstage and interview rock stars and film at rock concerts, that was, that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. I've done a little bit of that myself, and that is a good time.
Yeah.
So you're kind of on a radio path, and you mentioned you go to the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting, and I certainly associate television with Walter Cronkite. Yeah. So does that throw you into the television direction?
So as you mentioned, I started out in radio when I was in high school, and then through college, I continued doing radio. But I was at the Walter Cronkite School, and I did think about doing the pivot to television. And I did, obviously I did, because I then ended up being hired at MTV to cover the presidential election of 2000, and went and did the Rock the Vote, Choose or Lose television series for them. Then I pivoted back to radio for a little bit when I moved to Dallas, and then I stumbled upon my relationship with Mr. Mark Cuban as my boss. He was starting out to do a basketball television show in Dallas called The Mark Cuban Show, and they needed a co-host. And cue the music, I got hired. And so I was doing a basketball show with Mark Cuban for 2 years. And that's when he launched his television network, HDNet. Now, HDNet at the time was the world's first high definition television network. And I was sitting there one day after the basketball show, and he was talking about the television network. And he said, if you ever have any ideas for a show, let me know. I said, well, how about I go and interview rock stars for a living and film their concerts? And, the elevator pitch worked, and I started working at the network with him and spent 22 great years working with him.
Nice.
Wow, that's It's funny. I associate Mark Cuban with like, say, a network, but he also was an on-air personality.
So so he had he hosted his basketball show in Dallas. And then, but yeah, he owned the network HDNet, which was later renamed Access TV, which is what a lot of us fellow musicians know and love. Access TV, and that's AXS TV. He did sell the majority share of his stake in the network circa 2019. So the network is now, the majority of it is owned by a Canadian company called Anthem Sports and Entertainment.
Well, it certainly sounds like, the two big, moments, like, attending Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting and meeting up with Mark Cuban seems to be like the two pivotal moments of your career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting, that comes with such a lovely, heavy name, right? I mean, talk about a journalist. And then Mark Cuban just really gave me a chance to try something that I didn't quite have the resume for, but he believed in me, one would say. And that was such a gift. And to be allowed to, pursue this career and work for him for 22 plus years was just such a treat.
Well, Mark,
seems like you were born to do this.
Oh, thank you. You listen, when you like your job, right, it shows.
Like the energy, your energy and your voice and everything, it's like you're like a here I am.
I appreciate it. Tell me more.
Well, Mark, I just wanted to say, if Mark is watching, Mark, good job, man. You found your diamond, your diamond broadcaster here. That's great. We're coming up to the end of the show, guys, but I had just a couple more questions. I wondered if you could just give us a rundown right now. What shows have you created? Like, what are you responsible for on Access TV?
Yeah, so many of them, and it's so funny because if you even dare follow up with which one's my favorite, I'll have to punch you in the face because I'm never going to be able to pick one.
I think you must have read my mind.
Yeah. So the first show that I created for the network was a show called True Music, and that was the one I kind of described earlier, where I went and interviewed bands and then showed part of their concerts. That was actually the first show on the network that had a sponsor attached to it. So Budweiser, it was the Budweiser True Music show. From there, I then did a show called Deadline, where I went around and did crazy adventures, learning how to do the trapeze or the tightrope in Las Vegas. I got to drive a monster truck. I mean, you name it, I tried it. And then from there, I created a show called The World's Greatest Tribute Bands. And that went for 8 seasons and broadcast 100% live from the Sunset Strip. From the first 2 seasons were at the Roxy, and then the rest were from the Whiskey A Go-Go. And I mean, listen, having that radio background, I loved doing live television, let alone live music television, let alone with, tribute bands that are playing, the Sgt. Pepper's album in full, Led Zeppelin 4 in full, an Elvis guy. And these musicians were such top-notch, cool cats to be working with. That was phenomenal. After the World's Greatest Tribute Bands, I created the Top 10 Revealed, which, has over 150 episodes, repeating ad nauseum on Access TV. And then I kind of shifted over into a little bit of pop culture stuff and created their shows, the very, very best of the 70s and the very, very best of the 80s, where you do a typical countdown, who were the best TV moms of the 80s? What were the best sci-fi movies of the 70s? And then in the last 2 years, in particular, that's where I really got the permission to shine as a content creator when I was promoted to be the VP of programming and content at Access TV. And I created Vinyl Obsession, which, takes celebrities and puts them in the record shop, and they get to pick around and choose their 5 favorite albums. I developed a show called Music Mayhem, where you look at some of the underbelly, the darker stories of rock and roll, like the plane crashes that have taken away some of, our beloved musicians, or some of the sex tapes that may have rocked the world. So a little bit more of the scandalous side. That was Music Mayhem. And then even, last year we had a new show with Carney Wilson. It was called Sounds Delicious with Carney Wilson, from the famed band Wilson Phillips. Her dad, brought, from the Beach Boys, and she would talk about her love of music and combining it with cooking, and would bring on guests like Dee Snider or Lisa Loeb or Mark McGrath and cook with them and just have a good time.
Very cool. Nice. All very cool. Yeah. And so is the top 10 still in production, or what's still in production
It is
on Access?
not. So unfortunately, Access TV halted all original productions. So none of the shows are there's nothing new at the network right now. So you get to love and live all the the repeats you want. I think there's probably like a 4 hours every day you can watch the top 10 revealed and the other shows, but everything is currently in repeats over there.
Well, I hope you get back in production on some of those. Claudio, did you have anything you wanted to add here?
No.
Okay.
I know. I want to know if you want to go to the Metal Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday night.
But it's tomorrow, Wednesday.
No, next Wednesday.
Oh, the next Wednesday?
Yeah, it's the 22nd. And it's at like the Grand Hotel down in Anaheim. It's
so I can push on the VIP.
Send me the information. Send me the information on that.
I will. Yeah.
Next week, I'm celebrating my 15th wedding anniversary with my husband. So I know we're doing a bit of a staycation, but he was in charge of making the hotel reservation. So I need to find out where am I going and when.
Very cool. Very cool.
I told him I had to be back by Saturday for the She Rocks Awards.
Yeah, we just did an interview with Pat Giswaldo, the founder of the Metal Hall of Fame. So if anybody's listening, be sure to check out that episode. He'll tell you the whole story of how it came to be. So
it was needed. I mean, so many of our metal guys were being ignored by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that, we needed that medal. We needed that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So Katie, what is the next step for you? What is the goal for 2025?
Ooh, 2025. Well, one thing that I actually just started to dabble in is I am the creative director of development for a really cool organization. It's called cancercanrock.org. And this is an organization that takes highly gifted, talented musicians, but amateur musicians. They have been diagnosed with aggressive cancer. And what they do is they help raise the money and the funds to take these musicians and give them a day in a studio to record an original song of theirs. And so they will help gather the musicians and they will put together the studio time so that they can record that song so that they can have that day of escape, that memory and that tangible memory, because they will have that recording at the end of the day. And they also put in a video crew so that they kind of make a live music video of the process. So I've been working with them and it's very rewarding. It feels great trying to raise money to give this gift to these musicians and their families. So my focus is really on that for 2025.
That sounds great.
That's a worthy cause.
Now, that being said, I am a content creator at the heart, so I am always open for a good freelance gig. So any music company that's out there, if they need to pivot and really beef up their digital content, because every brand needs to become a media brand at this day and age. So, a lot of people need help and need the content strategy, and that is my expertise. So, being a content strategist and developing and working with different brands and artists to up their digital platforms and footprint, that's my jam, and I'm available.
Awesome. Well, we'd certainly love to have you.
Awesome.
The Rock Music Alliance is about talent, and then we just promote new stuff and people that have no fans or whatever. You don't have to be famous to.
Yeah, we got started, Katie, by we wanted to found a new award show that focused on rock, metal, and progressive rock, essentially all of rock, but just kind of putting it into those categories, But our focus is for new releases. So essentially, what we wanted to do was an annual show. It's really, if you think about it, it's very much like the Grammys. It's just that it would be focused on rock.
Right.
And so we've been working towards that. And along the way, we decided, well, we should have like an interview show and put our playlists out online. Like right now, we just started putting playlists out on Spotify, and those playlists are our finalists and nominees.
Oh, cool!
Yeah. And it's for everyone. Like Claudio was saying, it's about talent. I mean, it's not just independent artists or not major artists. It's really everyone. All we care about is if you've released some kind of rock music within the past calendar year, and it's available to the public, and that's all it is. So if somebody comes to our attention who is working out of their living room but they're still able to release their music. They have just as much chance of being recognized by us as any major artist.
I love that. That's great. What a great mission.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We're working towards a live show. We're not quite there yet, but I'd love to do one this year. We're looking at maybe
Cool.
like doing it at the Agura, what's it called? I'm going to say the club.
Canyon.
Canyon.
The Canyon Club?
Yeah. I keep thinking country club.
Yeah, I love that venue. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So probably the Agura Canyon Club.
Mhm.
And so we're working on, we need a little funding for that. And we need some major artists to come and help us out there. I'd love to have like Orianthi take the spotlight, new band Crossbone Scully. I'd love to have them.
Yes, I love them.
Yeah.
How
The
about
artwork on their albums are so great.
how
But
about
Tommy's
Kathy?
cool.
How about Kathy Carroll to be the host?
Oh, to be the host.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There you go. Well,
I'm listening.
We're divided into, we have 11 different genres of rock that we're currently working in. And so you'd certainly be more than welcome to host that segment. If you want to pick like alternative hard rock or alternative metal or classic rock, you could take that segment.
Well, what a fun time. I can't wait to hear more about it. And like I said, it's a great venue. So, I mean.
Who's going to be the main host then?
Oh, well, you're looking at him.
Yeah.
The master of ceremonies. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that does bring us to the end of our show today. And, Katie, what websites should people go to find out about all the things you do?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, you can always follow me easily on my socials. It's just my name, Katie Daryl, and that's Katie with an IE. So my Facebook, my Instagram, that's what's most active. And then, of course, if you are interested in cancercanrock.org, if you are a musician who would want to volunteer and play with one of our donate your time, so if you want to play guitar, you want to play bass, you just, are an engineer, you're a videographer and you want to donate your time and skills, that would be fantastic.
And you have social media pages for all this stuff too?
Yeah. Cancer Can Rock has their social media page. I believe it just is Cancer Can Rock. And then obviously you can get a hold of me directly with Katie Daryl.
Very good. So people listening also, find Katie and her pages out there. Also find the Rock Music Alliance on social media and like us and friend us and be part of what we do as well. And join us there, be part of what we do. So Katie, congratulations again on your recognition from the She Rocks Awards organization.
Thanks. I can't wait. I'm truly honored to be honored.
Thanks for being our guest today on the Rock Music Alliance.
I'm Cole Coleman, and for Claudio Pesavento, the Rock Music Alliance, and the RMA Awards, thanks for watching and listening. Visit us at rockmusicalliance.com and check out this year's RMA Awards for rock, metal, and progressive rock music.